I didn't go to astronomy because of astronomy. I went to astronomy because I was asking myself the big questions.
There's very few things you can do these days that can do that without, going up into space. So this is the closest thing you can do to get close to, everything.
I think just having the conversation about looking up and considering what else is out there. A lot of times we tend to get focused in our own neighborhood and in our own issues and in our own stuff. I come out to go look at the night sky and hopefully take some pictures and do some astrophotography, see if I can find new things up in the sky that I haven't seen and different spots, and obviously connect with other people that are here.
Probably 4 or 5. The Apollo era was going on, and my brother had received a telescope for Christmas, and he never used it, and I started using it and have been into it ever since. And it's fun to come out to these events just to try to introduce people that otherwise would never get a chance to look through a scope or to see what's available and what you can actually see. So just expose people to the wonders of the night sky.
For me personally, I started this 4 years ago as a beginner. It's a great time to get together with people that are beginners and up through the industry. And it is just a lot of fun. The sky doesn't discriminate. We all have a lot of fun, and that's the joy of astronomy.
What got me interested was when I was young, my dad pointed out Venus in the sky. And I grew up in Arizona in Tucson, and Kitt Peak was next to us, and it was always in the news, so I always found it interesting. Finally, after when I was about 30, I bought a telescope, and I liked it and got into it more and more.
My dad, who was an engineer, he took me to the top of a hill, and he said, "Look up," and he said, "You see that dot that's coming, like, traveling across the sky?" And I said, yeah, I see it. He says, "Well, that's Apollo and Soyuz. They just joined together as one. They were 2 satellites, and now they're one, and they're going around." And it blew my mind. I was like, whoa. I decided that I wanted to be an astronomer.
The red lights do very little harm to your night vision. So the night vision is something we try to really value when we're out doing astronomy. Our ability to see the dark objects in the eyepiece in our telescopes. The red light doesn't make the night vision go away as quickly. So it's more okay to have just the red light rather than, blue or white.
Okay, my name is Eric Hoyne, and I've been a member of the Central Florida Astronomical Society since 1992. I've held the position of president, vice president, membership, what we call dark sky now. It used to be called light pollution. Just about every position that we had on the board. My interest in astronomy actually began when I was in 5th grade, when a friend of mine told me that he had a telescope that I could have, and it actually was just in parts. And I had to go to a local library to see how the telescopes were put together, and through trial and error, actually got the pieces and put it together. And the very first object that I ever saw up in the sky was the Andromeda Galaxy. It took me a good 45 minutes to find it. Being part of the board and part of the membership with Central Florida Astronomical Society that actually got the idea of putting a telescope on a major college campus going. And everything seemed to be worked out on that, and that was a 4-year project, and the result was the Robinson Observatory over on the College of University of Central Florida. I think one of the most pressing challenges could be funding, especially now. You have to prove yourself. Kind of like the music industry, you have to prove yourself in order for your project to really gain hold. It's got to be a different idea. It's got to be something that is pretty extraordinary, and that comes from the ingenuity of the individual. That comes from your passion and what you really want to find out for yourself, and it can often be contagious for others.
My name is Shetty Figasell, and I am a licensed mental health counselor. I am also a NASA JPL Solar System Ambassador, and I am an analog astronaut. So I have been a member of the Central Florida Astronomical Society for about 7 years, and I was on the board for a couple years, and now I'm a member. Astronomy specifically was actually my high school physics teacher, and we took out telescopes one time into a field, and he let us look through them, and it was the coolest thing I had ever seen. It took kind of a break. I think it was for me, for whatever reason. And then about 7, 8 years ago, I saw that there were telescope viewings, and there was a telescope event out at a park nearby here. Went out to go look through the telescopes that they brought in, and I was hooked. So the space therapist, I've been a licensed mental health counselor. I'm in my 11th year, almost 11th year in private practice, and it's something that I found an integration between space and between mental health. Started noticing that some of the patterns that people that were coming into my office, telehealth, were describing a lot of things that space would basically be bringing out in people as well. I started noticing patterns in ways that astronauts would be describing their experience looking back on Earth from space. And so that concept is called the overview effect. And it's a perspective shift that happens when you look back on Earth or you look back on an experience and you see things differently. We all kind of go through a different version of the overview effect in our own lives in different ways. And so I started incorporating, like, how can I combine this thing with astronauts that have been to space with everyone that is on Earth? Yeah, so I was selected last year as to be an analog astronaut. What that means is that we're researchers that go out into different facilities and different sites all over the world, and we study what it's like to live and work in space, and basically simulate what it's like to be an astronaut on Earth. My crew and I, it was 6 of us total, went out to live for 2 weeks on a 2-week mission in isolation on the site of Mauna Loa volcano, and I did research, like mental health research and psychology research with the crew, and it was a very cool experience, and the night skies there were incredible. I think just having the conversation about looking up and considering what else is out there. A lot of times we tend to get focused in our own neighborhood and in our own issues and in our own stuff, where astronomy can be a great way to take a step back, connect with other people. And, if you're out there in the field for hours, you can do that and talk about space. And it gives us a chance to imagine and to wonder and to go beyond what we have in our own immediate future. It can give us a break from our own stuff, whatever that is, and so go out and explore. It's the hope and it's the potential that anything is possible. And no matter however I've somehow found my way into this community, one thing has led to another, and the opportunities just keep coming. And I don't know how or why, but they do. And no matter what you do in the world, if you're a writer, if you're an engineer, if you're a chef, if you're a therapist, if you're a physicist, whatever, in space there is a place for you. It doesn't matter what you do, there is a place for you. It's a very welcoming community, and that's been something that it will be with me forever, and I am extremely grateful for that.